Today's lesson is on converting measures. First, we're going to look at a couple of examples for converting measures. You find a recipe for wheat germ bread. For our first example, how many cups of water do you need to make the recipe? If we look at the recipe, we can see that we need 340 milliliters of water. The question asks us how many cups we need. So we need to convert milliliters to cups. The conversion to do that is 1 cup is approximately 237 milliliters. To set this problem up, we're going to start with what we know. We know that we need 340 milliliters of water. We can make this a fraction by putting a 1 underneath it. When we write our conversion, since milliliters is on the top of the first one, it needs to be opposite on the second one, so it needs to be on the bottom of the second one, because then we can cancel them out. So when we write it, we're going to write 1 cup on the top and 237 milliliters on the bottom, so that milliliters is on the top of the first one and the bottom of the second one. Now we can go ahead and multiply straight across. 340 times 1 is 340, and then on the bottom we have 1 times 237, which is 237. So now we have 340 over 237. When we divide that, we're going to get approximately 1 4/10 cups. So you need about 1 4/10 cups of water to make the recipe. For our second example, do you need more whole wheat grains or more whole wheat flour? So if we look at our recipe, you can see that we need 2 3/4 ounces of whole wheat grains, and we need 400 grams of whole wheat flour. So if we start with 400 grams, we need to convert that to ounces so that we can compare it to the grains. Our conversion between ounces and grams is 1 ounce is about 28 grams. If we start with 400 grams, because that's the flour, we can put that over 1 to make it a fraction. Since grams is on the top, in order to cancel it out, we need grams on the bottom of the second fraction. So we set this up as 1 ounce over 28 grams. Now we can multiply straight across. 400 times 1 is 400, and 1 times 28 is 28. 400 over 28 would be 400 divided by 28, and that's approximately 14 3/10 ounces of flour. Because 14 3/10 ounces is greater than 2 3/4 ounces, you need more whole wheat flour. Now we're going to look at an additional example. We're going to use the recipe to answer the question. Underneath the recipe, you'll see a conversion. 1 cup is approximately 237 milliliters. You may pause the video and try this on your own, or you can follow along. Our question is, you have 1/4 cup of orange juice. Do you have enough to make the recipe? First, we're going to start with what we have. We have 1/4 cup. So that is the same thing as 0.25 cups. We're going to multiply that times our conversion. Our conversion was 1 cup is approximately 237 milliliters. For the first one, if we put a 1 underneath it, we make it our fraction. So since cups is on the top of the first one, it needs to be on the bottom of the second one. So the 1 is going to go on the bottom because it goes with cups, and 237 milliliters would be on the top. Now we're going to multiply straight across. So we're going to be multiplying 0.25 or 25 hundredths times 237, and when we multiply that, we get 59 25 hundredths. We have 59 25 hundredths milliliters, and we need 60 milliliters, so we don't have enough. We're a little bit short. We don't have enough for the recipe. Now we have another example. Use the recipe to answer the question. This will also go on your whisk form, so you can pause this video, try it on your own, or you can follow along. For our question, you have 1/8 ounce of whole wheat grains. How many more ounces do you need to make the recipe? In the recipe, it says we need 2 3/4 ounces of whole wheat grains. We need 2 3/4 ounces, and we have 1/8 of an ounce. So we can subtract those. In order to subtract those, we can first make 2 3/4 an improper fraction, and that would be 11/4. So now we have 11/4 minus 1/8. The next thing we need to do is we need to get a common denominator. Our common denominator is going to be 8. So 11/4 would be multiplied by 2 to give us 22/8. And 22/8 minus 1/8 is going to be 21/8, and that equals 2 5/8 ounces. So 2 5/8 is how much we need to make the recipe. Don't forget to fill out your whisk form, and remember you can watch this video again if needed.